All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? To another weekly edition here with Reggie Middleton. I'm your semi co-host Marlon. How you doing today, Reggie?
I'm doing fine. Just so you know, it says live, but my screen is blank, so I don't see you on the screen or anything else. Have,
I can see you. Let me double check the.
you did it. Well, I was good to go. I said yes. And
Okay.
for anybody watching this, okay, it says Father, you're live, but I still have a blank screen. I don't need to see you per se, but if I can't see
Yeah,
it, it's possible.
yeah. You
Nobody
can,
else
as long as
can.
you can hear me still, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, then we're good to go. And looking at the yeah, so we're good to go. You're showing on the live, so we're good to go.
Okay. Now, for everybody looking, I know I have a tank top on, but I'm at the gym, and I decided to stop my pugilistic workout and weightlifting to do a quick live interview. Okay.
Well, we appreciate your time in the pause of getting your gains in.
Okay. That's a PC
So
way of saying I forgot.
no problem. So I did want to start off today, Reggie, where I came across a video on Twitter, and you happen to make a cameo in it, and I want to see if you remember this at all.
I
Are you
can't
able?
see the video, so.
Oh yeah. Are you able? If you slide it on your phone, can you see the next screen or no?
Can I see the what screen?
If you slide on the Zoom, you should. I think you should be able to see the next
Everything
screen.
is black. You know what? I could probably
Okay.
just sign. Let me just sign out and sign my.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Reggie? I think we lost Reggie.
Sign out and sign right back in. I'll be back. Give me 5 seconds. Okay.
No, it's all good. We can keep it going.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, no, I had found an old video of you from HU Homecoming in 1997, where you made a nice cameo in there.
Yeah, the college kids. I do know what video you're talking about. That's a bunch of music moguls and successful IT attorneys and mayors of major cities.
Yeah, well, it looked like it's just a homecoming, so it was a guy going around just saying what's up to everybody.
Yeah.
Couldn't really tell any professions, but I saw your face and I was like, wait a minute, is that Reggie?
That was me. Look up a lot of other guys you're recognizing in various industries. So successful class.
Okay. Hey, it is HU, one of the greats. So I'm not. Hey, I already know how that goes. So to dive into some current market stuff today, Reggie. So I seen you had some proof with Ethereum that they are infringing on your patent. Can you share some more about that? What's going on with that?
Okay, I put that down as research only. I don't want it to be taken as an accusation or a legal condemnation. What I want it to be taken as is what it is: actual empirical research, something that is lacking in the industry. By the way, there's no reason why I should have been the one to allow this instead of somebody else, particularly those who put a lot of money on this platform. But whether here or there, the research shows how Ethereum touches our IP, our patented IP. Okay, it's summary, but it's relatively clear. Shows the timeline, chronological, and everything else. And if Ethereum touches the claims, then theoretically, everybody who uses Ethereum touches the claims. Everybody who um, um, accesses Ethereum for revenue or profit does the same with the claims. Interesting research, to say the least. And there's going to be a lot more research coming out. Okay, so if you look at the tweet, you can show the tweet. I don't have it memorized. I can't see the screen.
Yeah, I have it pulled up right now for the viewers.
Okay, so if you see the tweet, it basically shows you a quick background, a quick chronology from the white people on what it is about Ethereum that infringes from a research perspective and a legal accusation perspective. Okay, and the Ethereum ecosystem. That ecosystem is primarily just the public network ecosystem, not the private network, which includes Enterprise Ethereum and JP Morgan, Citibank, etc. I have analyses and we have research for a wide variety of other chains such as RippleNet, their on-demand liquidity system, and Solana, Binance Chain, and Binance Smart Chain, the Lightning Network over Bitcoin, etc. So we're going to be putting this research out, and I'm going to be sharing it with the small and medium YouTube content providers who are willing to actually report the news versus an actual agenda, such as yourselves. So you will be getting the scoop on the big boys, and you will continue to get the scoop because the big boys, for reasons that I've discussed before, definitely do not want to report on, even though it's the biggest story in crypto by far.
No, most definitely, because I mean, Ethereum's the one that everybody's building on, well, the main one everybody's building on. So it's almost like an umbrella that you could just pick up and catch everybody else underneath.
Now that's on the public side. I believe on the private side, there's probably more capital and resources going into Ripple. Because Ripple has many of the money center banks. Okay, but now I could be wrong. It doesn't matter because they both touch the bank. So.
Now with Ripple going through that case with the SEC right now, still, how does that affect, with them dealing with you on, with any type of possible patent infringement?
I don't know. For right now, I'm just doing research. So, that's all it is. But I wish Ripple the best of luck. I'm on your side, but the lead prosecutor that went after Ripple is the lead prosecutor that went after Veritasium. And the lead prosecutor that went after the executives of Ripple personally is the same lead prosecutor that went after me personally.
Now, has their case gone on longer than you had?
It's hard to tell because when it's in the administrative phase, it's private. But this is how it works. They ask for millions of pages of documentation and subpoenas. They drain you of capital, go back and forth. A fishing expedition, at least that's my opinion. And then when they feel they have enough, they issue a Wells notice and they drag you to court. And then you have to go through the whole thing all over in a civil discourse. Now, if you believe that you haven't done anything wrong and you have the resources, not legal opinion or legal advice, because I'm not a lawyer, but from my experience, I suggest you go straight to court, because in the civil court you have powers, where in the administrative arena you have nothing, and that particular enforcement agency gets to call all the shots. But I'm not a lawyer, so definitely don't take it as legal advice. As a matter of fact, you can take it for the breath as much as you pay for
it. Or just take it as possible research points. So we do have a question in the chat from the Ethereum from Les Squire. For those who purchase ETH individually and other coins as well, are they considered as infringing on your patent? I would think not so, but what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. Not like I'm going to do anything about it. So from a legal technical perspective, if you did it for profit or revenue, it's a possibility, but it doesn't matter. I don't care.
So I do have a question. So, with going back to, the Ethereum research, you did tag a few of the play to earn games on there. I seen you had Axie Infinity and Sandbox and Decentraland. So for the metaverses and different play to earn games, would those be a different route that you would go through with, say, some of these other big DAOs?
When you say a different route, what do you mean?
In terms of, well, I know you want to work with everybody, but I guess what I'm asking is the utilities or the different functionalities that they're using or going about on their platforms. Does that matter to you in a sense, or? Well,
from a research perspective, remember research for now. I'm not going after anybody.
Right, correct.
But with that being said, I also don't intend for anybody to profit off of the work that I put in over the last 9, 10, 11, 12 years. I starve and they make money. I don't think that's fair. But for right now, it's just research. I could take Axie Infinity as an example. Axie Infinity as a project from our research infringes. Okay. And Axie Infinity runs on top of Ethereum, which also infringes. So there are multiple avenues and aspects where they step on the path.
Understood.
And
Understood.
same goes for many projects such as Compound and Uniswap, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. All right. So I do have recently in the news, we've seen some of these NFT hacks that have gone through some. It seems like as soon as you have a record-breaking one, there's another record-breaking one, 2 days later. But I guess I was think the same thing, that with these NFT platforms, that with your research included, with these smart contracts getting exploited and everything. I guess more so, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first question comes to mind is, was it audited? And how many times was it audited? Best practice for releasing stuff would be a spell check, basically. You don't write a project paper for school, just jot it down and send it to the teacher. You at least spell check it, right? So an audit is like a third-party spell check. And the way we did it for something that was mission critical or serious, it went through more than one audit. So you send it to 2 audits, and if one audit flags something that the other one didn't, you have a third audit. First, of course, you address the issues that came up, and then I send it to a third auditor. Audits have gotten cheaper than they were before because we have more competition in space. And I've seen competitive audits for like $8,000 for medium-sized projects. Why would you not take the time to do one or multiple audits, especially when you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 million dollars at stake? So I'm not saying they didn't have their contracts audited, but with the amount of hacks, it does seem a little suspicious that maybe they might have rushed something through the door without having a series of audits, a lot of audits and tests, etc. But I'm not a developer, I'm not an engineer, but I have spearheaded quite a few projects software development.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, is that anything that you and your team would do? Do you offer audit services?
No. I mean, if I would offer audit service, I just have to outsource it. But, there's auditors all over the place. Consensus audits, they have a big brand name, so you'd be paying a lot for them. You could probably get it done cheaper. But, audits are everywhere. There are teams, especially in Eastern Europe and Central Europe, that specialize in Ethereum contract audit. So it just boggles my mind how so many of these exploits are not caught. Now, you're never going to catch everything. That's why they call it a mistake, But some of the mistakes, most of the mistakes should be caught in a series of audits, hopefully. And I'm not bashing anybody because I don't know what happened. I'm not following it. Maybe they were audited. Maybe they did best practices and audited, with a consensus of 2 out of 3. But there's a material chance that a couple of these guys just did, or did it with a very, with an incompetent firm.
Got you. Looks like we have another question from Chris Minka. Reggie, do you think that having to go through lawyers instead of your Mr. Nice Guy approach has taken away some value and utility of the Very token?
No, I'm not even sure exactly what you mean by that, but the value and utility of the Very token has nothing to do with going through lawyers and being nice. So, except for the fact that I'm being nice, where I'm trying to support, give value to the token, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that question. All right. Looks like the chat's a little slow today, no problem. So then circling back to the Ethereum, Reggie, with Ethereum moving towards proof of stake, if it's not already there, with your patent, what is proof of stake considered to be DeFi?
Well, DeFi is a subset of the invention. I just say DeFi because everybody knows DeFi. Now, if I say conditional value transfer to peer-to-peer markets, people like, what? So, right. But it is basically proof of stake happens on a distributed platform or a decentralized platform, or it uses a decentralized currency. for the most part or often. And so it falls under the umbrella as I see it.
Okay. So, from my perspective, the things I came up when I was kind of getting into crypto and everything and looking at the difference between proof of work and proof of stake, it seems proof of stake is, you're replacing that computer power for solving the algorithms and all that to create the blockchain to more of like a staking perspective. So if one person has, more than the other and they're randomly selected to validate those blocks, is that truly considered DeFi? And again, I'm just asking, as a new person into the crypto space.
It does, because there's not one central entity that's running everything. Now, whether it allows for concentrations of power and authority, yes, it does. That's the problem with proof of stake. Those stakeholders of capital have more capital or access to more capital, and so they have more authority. But is that really different than proof of work? Proof of work, once you get very competitive, requires a lot of capital, because the hardware that's capable of doing a specialized calculation, the ASIC, application specific integrated chips, are not expensive or not cheap. And so those with more capital can go on more of their specialized hardware and pay more for electricity and buy more of the machine. So at the end of the day, capital will concentrate power, because that's what capital does. You're just basically swapping, concentrating, using capital to buy specialized hardware, using capital to as collateral for decision making.
Seems like that capital for takeover and proof of work would be I don't think Musk has those many billions to get that over.
I mean, that's really theoretical. It's not a whole lot of money to take over proof of work with Bitcoin blockchain if you look at it. But the problem is, you'll you can see it coming. So as for how the chain will really react in the community, you won't know until it happens. But if someone were to pull a 51% attack, it's not like it's going to happen on a it wouldn't be hidden.
Gotcha. So let's see. All right, so looks like we don't have too many questions. I know you're going to the gym today, Reggie, so I don't want to hold you up too much. Do we want to leave with any lasting messages today?
Well, I'd like to have a more in-depth conversation, because someone says that the largest and most active chain in the entire industry infringes on his intellectual property. And he says he has proof, and there's nobody that asks a single question. So either the right people are not listening to this, or nobody wants to have the conversation. Okay, so I have a lot of conversations to have. I will check in on the comment section once or twice here, or you can bring the comments to Twitter at Reggie Middleton, and we have this discussion. Okay, now, here's a bit of advice. You know that there's something behind this patent. How do you know that? Because if I would have came and I would have said that XYZ is the case, and it's not the case, I'd be all over the front page of CoinDesk. And I'd be drug all through Cointelegraph and maligned and called names, etc. When you hear crickets for a very valid reason.
They're quick to drag somebody's name through the mud, but if they're right, they're going to keep it quiet.
Yeah, especially right about this. So let that silence be deafening, okay? For anybody who actually wants to learn, have a conversation with me. And a lot of people don't understand how patents work. It doesn't mean the end of the industry, or I'm going to take this company down. It's an expense of doing business when you're using someone else's property. I always use AWS as an example. You put up a website, you're using Amazon Web Services service, you pay them $100 a month. Why are you paying $100 a month? Because they're using that stuff. It's that simple, right? Amazon's not driving a lot of business, and they're not destroying the crypto industry. Now, if you choose not to pay them to use that service, well, then they're not going to allow you to use it. And if you try to force yourself onto that service, well, then they will take legal means to get you off. And you have to pay what you owe. But that's not a big war or a fight or unethical or patent troll. That's Amazon doing business and trying to get you to do business the correct way. Voila, instant IP analysis. Okay.
Not to get into like too much details, but do you already have like a structured business case? To when those companies finally approach you, do you have like a layout of these are almost service level agreements type of deal? Do you already have stuff like that in place?
I have a variety of models, and it all depends on what the company is and where they are in terms of their revenue cycle, et cetera, because my goal is to cause the industry to flourish. Okay, I want peer-to-peer capital markets to be a normal place. So, your children will be telling, their children, back when dad was young, everybody had to go to a building to get money or to do banking, or, their money was controlled by a big corporation versus themselves. Can you believe it? But this guy, Reggie Middleton, came and helped save it.
That's the book we need to write a children's book about.
I just said that part to piss off the nationalists because I know it's coming. So.
That's fine. They'll always be mad at something. It just depends on the day. Well, cool. Sounds good, Reggie. I appreciate the time today, and you continue to get those games going, and we'll continue back on this next week.
Okay, we'll do. See you in a week.
See you. Have a good one.
Okay.